Now, the injury has happened. We can't turn to the transfer market now. There's nothing we can do about that. We have to focus on the team that we have. We have to use the team that we have and get through the fixtures that are coming up. Next up, it's Tottenham away, and then it's Atalanta away, and then it's Man City away. And then after that, it gets a little bit easier. I mean, if you consider PSG at home easier and, Leicester at home and Southampton at home, it will be a little bit easier, though. After we face Man City, it will be a little bit easier. And then at that time, maybe you can afford to have this particular player. You wouldn't really feel the heart of missing Odegaard. Whichever way, though, we are going to miss Odegaard. The injury has happened. We still don't know how long he's going to be out for, but in this video, we're going to just, imagine he's out for 1 month, 2 months. What are we going to do? Hopefully, it's nothing longer than that, because we've been in a bit of trouble. But I've come up with 4 solutions that we can do, 4 alternatives to Martin Odegaard. To be honest, let me say this from the beginning. I don't think Odegaard is replaceable. I don't think there's enough players who can replace him. And it would have been good to have someone like an Eze in the team, come in the team. He played in the Premier League before. Good number 10. He can do the job for us. That would have been great. Many people wanted, or some people wanted Vieira to stay. Some people wanted Smith Rowe to stay. I don't think in terms of levels with Odegaard, they're anywhere near, but maybe it would have been okay to just have someone who's played in that position before. But by the way, side note, Vieira is already injured for FC Porto, by the way, so maybe he wouldn't really have been an alternative for us either way. Maybe he'd have been injured because he hasn't really played for them. He got injured in training, so maybe it didn't work out for us. So at the moment, we have to just work with what we have. So the 4 solutions that I have, let's begin with it. So number 1, trust Nwaneri. That is the first thing we can do. Trust Nwaneri. A lot of people have talked about Arsenal youngsters getting an opportunity. A lot of people are not happy about Kozia Duberry leaving. A lot of people are not happy with Balogun leaving a couple of years ago. A lot of youngsters have left, Patin and all that. A lot of people have asked for Arsenal youngsters to get an opportunity, and this is an opportunity for Nwaneri. Now, not the circumstances that we wanted Nwaneri to come into. I mean, you don't want Nwaneri to be the one to, come into a team that is fighting for a title with Man City and Liverpool, and he's coming to be the one to help us replace Odegaard because he's out for a few months. We don't want that. We do not want that. Like, even the thought of it is making me sick. It's crazy. Nwaneri is a very talented player. There's a reason why I'm sure we let Smith Rowe and Vieira go and didn't replace them. I think because Nwaneri is going to get an opportunity this season, but now it's going to be more than opportunities. Now it's going to be opportunities. Now you can have Nwaneri in that position. Don't change the formation. That is number 1. Don't change the formation. Just have Nwaneri in that position. Ask him to do the job that Odegaard has been doing, which is not easy. That's leadership. That's captaincy. That's pressing from the front. That is creativity. That is combination with Havertz, combination with Saka, combination with Partey, combination with Ben White. That is goals. That is assists. That is a lot of things that Odegaard provides for us. I don't think anyone can do it, but Nwaneri is the only natural number 10 that we have. Like, I've looked through our squad. We just don't have anyone who can play there, which is absolutely crazy. But I usually try to avoid changing the entire formation. Like, if one player misses and then you have to change the entire team around, that means 1 or 2 things. Either your system is not working, or you don't have enough players. So if your midfield is missing, and then you have to move your right back to midfield, move your left back to right back, and then move your center back to left back, and then bring in someone from the bench, and then move the midfielder to the right side because the right back is now the left back. If that happens, it usually means the system is not working or you don't have enough players. So if you want to keep it the same, if Atalanta wants to keep it the same, just play Nwaneri, not the circumstances that you want, because you'd like to bring in Nwaneri, on your 2-0 up, play him next to Declan Rice and Odegaard, have him get into that team, not like have Nwaneri in the team when Odegaard is missing and also the number 8 in Declan Rice is missing. That is not good circumstances, but that is one way we can go with it. Play Nwaneri, apologies, next to Thomas Partey. For this particular game against Tottenham. After that, Declan Rice will be back, and then we could see something like this against Atalanta, against Leicester, and those are the teams that we're going to play in the Premier League coming up. that could be one. So that is the first solution. Just trust in Nwaneri, give him the minutes. Now, I don't think Yamalo's thrown in against Real Madrid or is thrown in straight away into a Euros final, but that is where we are right now. Do I think Nwaneri is going to start this particular games coming up? I don't think Nwaneri should start like against Man City. I think that is too crazy. Yes, that is what we have, but we'd have to get other solutions that I'm going to talk about in this game, in this video. You can't throw him up against Rodri and Ruben Diaz in that area right away, like too much pressure. You're asking him in a game where we must not lose game against Man City. It is too dangerous. Now, I'd love him to get into the team, but you also have to protect him as an individual. You don't want to throw him against Tottenham and Man City, and then he has two poor games, and then it's over. We don't want that. We don't want. Next up, that is the first one. Next up is Trossard and Havertz. Now, if you don't trust in Nwaneri, don't think he's ready for these particular games, and you still want to keep the formation the same, you can turn to your other senior players in the team. Yes, it will take something away from the positions that they're playing, but you'd have to ask them to do that job. Now, Trossard is very creative, and Havertz has played as a number 10 before. Can we have that? Would you guys be happy with this second solution? Like have Havertz as a 10, and then you have other players up front. Now, Jesus is back in training. That is good. We could have Jesus up front, and then you just move Havertz to midfield, not the number 8, but the number 10. So you're basically asking him create a few chances, get into the box, score goals. Basically, the number 10 who will score more than assist, get into the box more than you're going to create. You're going to miss a lot in terms of creativity if you play Havertz there, because he's going to get into the box and then he will need someone to create for him. But that is the second solution. Either have Havertz there or you play Trossard there as the number 10. And then luckily we signed Sterling, because if Sterling was not there, he's not the best signing, yes, but if he was not there, we'd really be in a very, very bad place in terms of numbers. Because if you move Trossard to the 10, then you're having to depend on Martinelli every single game again. Champions League, Carabao Cup, we don't have anyone else to play there. So Havertz, play there or play Trossard. Would you guys prefer that second solution, or would you just prefer having Nwaneri? Now, that is if you want to keep the formation same and everything, and you don't want to move things around. You just move Havertz to midfield, and then maybe play Sterling up front for a couple of games. Remember, Rice will be back for the next game against Atalanta, so the midfield blow will be, lessened a bit, but you still have to find a solution for Odegaard. So that is the second option. You play Havertz in that 10, or you play Trossard in that 10, or maybe even other players, so Sterling, Saka, maybe ask them to do that role, and then you find someone else to play where they've been playing. The third option, once again, if you want to keep the formation the same, to move the midfield players to the defenders to midfield. Now, if Odegaard was our number 8, you could easily say, okay, Odegaard is out, let's play Zinchenko there, or let's play Timber there, or wherever. But Odegaard is a 10. So unless we're moving Rice to the 10, which I don't think is possible, or Rice is very important to the 8. So Zinchenko plays in midfield for Ukraine and is very creative. Could you ask him to, for this one game, 2 games against Atalanta and against Tottenham, players our number 10? That would be absolutely crazy. Right away, the Zinchenko plays on number 10. That would be unheard of, but we know he's played there before. He used to play there before, I think, when he played for PSV or PSV something back in the day. But I think he was from loan from Man City or something. He played like in the 10 when he was on loan in Netherlands after he joined Man City. Zinchenko, he played on the right side, right wing, left wing, number 10. He played a lot of positions, so he's done it before. But you still need to press and all that. Creative wise, I think Zinchenko can pick out a pass, a through pass, and all that. So in terms of creativity, is closer to Odegaard, but in terms of all the other stuff like pressing, I don't know how much is going to fit. So you can throw in Zinchenko or Timber or Calafiori to midfield. This is what I would go for against Tottenham this particular game. I've done a preview already, but I would have Trossard as a 10 for that particular game, and not necessarily as a 10. Now, that takes me to the fourth solution, to change the formation. Now, you could have it like that, Trossard as a 10, but not necessarily as a 10. You'll need to change the formation. Now, there's 2 formations you can change that to. You can change that to a 4-4-2. So this one that I'm showing you right now with Timber, Partey, and Trossard, you could have it like this instead, and all of a sudden it looks kind of better. Because last season when he played Tottenham, we didn't really dominate the ball and stuff. He counter-attacked with the Saka goal and he scored from a set piece. So you just really ask Partey and Timber. And yes, I would play Timber in midfield against Tottenham. You ask Timber and Partey Now, this video, you might be watching this video after the Tottenham game, which is absolutely fine. At the time of recording, we don't know how long Odegaard is going to be out for. But for that Tottenham game, I want to see Timber and Partey in midfield. Now, Rice will be back for the next game. Absolutely good. Then maybe you can move Timber back to defense and then have Rice and Partey in midfield like that. That will be okay. But this looks better. Then we don't really play the number 10, traditional 4-4-2. Have Saka and Martinelli be the ones to create. Trossard dropping in sometimes, going forward sometimes. Havertz dropping in sometimes, going forward sometimes. We have it as a mixture. I do like this as well. For 1-2 games, I do like this as well. Havertz, Trossard rotating, dropping a bit, going forward, dropping a bit, going forward, more like a 4-4-2. And then you'll need Saka and Martinelli to really work hard as wing backs, and then Timber and Partey as well to work really hard. Like this is the formation that many teams used to use back in the day, in the 2000s and stuff, when we used to have Bergkamp and Henry and Pires and Ljungberg and Gilberto and Vieira, and then Bergkamp would drop in as a 10, sometimes go forward, and then the midfield has to be very, very strong. That is one thing that has to happen. The midfield needs to be very strong. So that is a fourth solution. Have Timber, have Partey in that midfield, and then have us and Trossard basically as a front two. We don't really play with the number 10, and then that could also be anyone else. You could have Sterling there instead of Trossard, maybe Trossard on the left side instead of Martinelli. If Jesus is there, maybe have both Jesus and Havertz up front. Like, there's a different ways you can go with that, but the idea is a 4-4-2. The other formation you can change it to is a 3-4-3. So you have a back three. That is what I thought we were going to play with if we were going to sign a striker, but we didn't. So you have Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White as the defenders, and then you have 4 players in front of them. So Partey and Rice, that is after the Tottenham game, Timber or someone else before the Tottenham game, for the Tottenham game. But after that, he will be back. No worries about that. After that, Declan Rice will be back, and then our midfield will be slightly better. I mean, this is what we're supposed to have, but we can't have it, and Nwaneri will be out for some time as well. So you have that as a 4-4-2. No, not 4-4-2, a 3-4-3. So Partey and Rice in midfield, and then for the wing backs, you could have Saka. No, not Saka. You could have Zinchenko, Calafiori, Timber on the left side, and then you could have Timber on the right side as well, however you're going to have it. And then the front three, you have Saka, Trossard, Martinelli, Havertz up front. That is it. That is a 3-4-3. You'll need Rice and Partey to work extremely hard as well in midfield, but that can work as well, 3-4-3. That is, if you don't have a number 10, you can play a 3-4-3 or play a 4-4-2. That can work. It depends on how long Odegaard is out for. So this is a solution that for Declan Rice being out is a solution for Tottenham game. But after Declan Rice is back, I think we might see a more defensive approach against Man City, which I don't mind. We didn't lose the league lesson because we drew Man City. We picked up 4 points against them. There's no team that can really pick up 6 points against Man City. It's a rare occasion. 4 points against Man City is okay. We lost the league because we lost other games, or because we drew Man City. So a point against Man City, it will be very welcome. So those are 4 alternatives. There is a 5th one, but you're not going to do it. You can go and get a player who's on a free, like a Rabi or any other midfielders who are on a free. But as we know, Arsenal don't really sign players like that. I don't think Arsenal can go to like the free market. Oh my goodness, I need a player. I think Arsenal really look at the player before we sign. They rather even have 10 players in the squad than getting an 11th player who they've not really done research for. Like, that is how we approach the transfer market these days. So that is a 5th solution, but those are the 4 that we can go for. Trust Nwaneri as one. Go with Havertz or Trossard or Sterling, someone like that in the 10, and ask them to do a different role that they've been doing in the team. Number 3, move one of the defenders to the midfield positions. Maybe play Zinchenko as a 10 or something, or just move it around and move Zinchenko to the midfield as more of a creative outlet in midfield. Or you change the formation and you play either of those 2 formations, a 4-4-2 or a 3-4-3. Not ideal, but we have to find solutions. Now, lastly, there's 3 people I think who are very important now that Odegaard is out and Rice is out for the Tottenham game, and Merino is out as well. The first one is him. Mikel Arteta is the most important person in this situation. This is why I think he's a very good manager. I trust him a lot. I think in terms of tactics, he's very, very good. He will need to, yes, he does make mistakes sometimes, like Aston Villa at home last season. That was a mistake. But a lot of people have called him a genius. The players that have played for him, people like Guardiola and those guys, have called him a genius. We'll need to see it now. We will need to see it now. Apologies, we'll need to see it now. we will really need to see how he approaches the situation. It's very important. Whatever we are going to do, it's up to him. Are we going to move to a 4-4-2? Are we going to move to a 3-4-3? No one really expected Odegaard to be injured like that. It's a shame that he wasn't even injured playing for Arsenal. He was injured playing in the Nations League. But solutions. This is where they say the manager gets paid his money. So times like this, when Odegaard gets injured, when Saka gets injured, what's the alternative? We still have a very, very good squad. Can we still make it work without that particular player? So Arteta is the first really important person in this situation. Number two, I think this guy is very, very important now. Even more important than he was before. Odegaard was our creative outlet for sure. He's not really picked up any goals or assists this season, but everything goes through him. Even if he doesn't pick up numbers, he can still get an 8, 9 out of 10 game without even scoring or assisting Odegaard. Now, Saka has picked up an assist against Wolves. He got an assist against Aston Villa, and was it against Brighton? He got an assist against Brighton as well, right? Who scored against Brighton? It was Saka assisting against. So basically, Saka's assisted in all 3 games so far. So, if you go with this kind of formation, Saka will need to be a creative source. He will need like the last passes, the runs. He'll basically need to double his goals and assist some output. So he's very, very, very important. And the fact that right side that we use a lot is him and Saka and Ben White. Is the one that needs to step up even more to help us keep on creating, if Saka plays, the way he's been playing the last 4 or 5 seasons combined, we are going to be good in terms of still scoring goals and assisting. So Saka will really need to step up on that right side, because now there's no Odegaard, especially if he's next to Nwaneri. He all of a sudden is the senior player and he needs to do the job for us. That is the second player. Second person who's very important as Odegaard is out. And the third one, Kai Havertz is the one who's I'm putting number 3 as the most important person now that Odegaard is out. Because if Odegaard or Saka if Saka and Havertz don't perform, we're in big trouble. Because if Odegaard is not there and the two of them, one of them doesn't perform, all of a sudden it's a shambles. Last season, at that time, you're struggling to score goals December, January. Odegaard was not performing, and Martinelli was not performing, and Saka was not performing, so it becomes a mess. If Odegaard is not there and Saka and Havertz are still performing, you can get through it. You might not score 4 goals, but you might score 2, and then if your defense is good, you might still win the game. But if Havertz is not doing it for us, then we're in big trouble, because Havertz, whichever way you look at it, it could be Havertz playing as a 10 instead of Odegaard. We might move Havertz to the 8 now that Rice is out. Very important still. So however you look at it, Havertz is going to be very important. He has to perform wherever he plays, whether it's the 10 to replace Odegaard, whether it's the 8 to replace Declan Rice for that game, whether it's up front now, if you don't create too many chances now that Odegaard is out, whichever chance he's going to get, he needs to take it. So whichever you look at it, he's going to need to step up now that Odegaard is out, and Saka needs to step up as well. Now, they've been doing very well, so keep doing what you've been doing and take it to the next level, because now Odegaard is out, Havertz and Saka for me have to step up, and fast, Mikel Arteta. So let me know what you make of all that. Which formation, which alternative would you prefer? Would you give your trust to Nwaneri? Would you ask Trossard or Havertz to do the number 10 role? Would you change the formation? Would you move Zinchenko to midfield? What would you do? And then let me know who is the most important person now that Odegaard is out, apart from Arteta, who in the team is most important. Everyone is important, of course. You still need our defense to do the job. You still need Trossard to keep on scoring. You still need Sterling to hit the ground running. But for now, those 3 are my picks. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.